Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl, Teen Lines of Poetry Collection, and Finding God Anime Devotional for Otakus, which is free on a variety of platforms. I'll leave a link down below in case if you'd like to check it out. Happy Wednesday, my friends! I'm so excited to be here. We are doing another Top 5 Wednesday video. It is also the continuing of 25 days of manga. Oh, I have been loving all this. I love doing Top 5 Wednesday, love the 25 days of manga. Just so much fun has been happening this month, and the fun continues today with, I said, Top 5 Wednesday. But if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday was formed by Lainey back in 2013. The group is now since on Goodreads, and I'll also leave a link down below in case if you'd like to check it out or come join us. Each week, our host puts together a series of prompts that go on Wednesdays, and then on that Wednesday, we answer the prompt with 5 books, or in this case, manga, that reflect that said prompt. Today's prompt is all about books that exceeded our expectations. We've picked up books and we're like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this. I probably won't love it, but it'll be a good read. Only to read it and we're like, this is amazing. I love it. I want more of this series. I'm really excited about this prompt, though I confess it was a lot harder to decide on what would be my top 5 manga that I've read that have exceeded my expectations for that manga. I feel like there's been quite a few, to be honest, that have been on exceeded my expectations, where I thought, I decided to check out that manga and I thought I would like it, but then I ended up really loving and enjoying it. So let's go ahead, start off with number 1, and these are in no certain order. Let's go with Yu Yu Hakusho. I read volume 1 as part of a collaboration I did with my waifu and me. They are a manga tubing couple. They are super awesome. Definitely recommend checking out their channel. I love their energy and their vibes. They are just amazing. I cannot wait for them to come back from hiatus because I just really, really enjoy their videos. But we did a collaboration of, if you like this, you'll probably like this. And one of the titles that was on their list that they liked, and I need to find a manga that I thought they would like because of that, was Shaman King. And Yu Yu Hakusho was a recommendation that the Manga Sloth gave me, and so I checked it out, and I don't know what I expected, to be honest, but it really exceeded my expectations. I actually have volume 2 on the way here from my library, or not on the way here to my house, but on the way to the library, I mean, so that I can go pick it up. I really enjoyed the first volume a lot. Yusuke is just, he's a hoot. He is a hoot. He's so different, I feel, from the heroes that I typically read, and that's probably because I mainly read shoujo manga, but I really liked him. I loved his dedication. I love just his loyalty, his fierceness, and just all that he is. There are some really good chapters in that first volume, and I think I was skimming. I didn't skim through the beginning of the anime, at least not the first volume, or the first episode. I mean, I was looking for a certain scene that's in the manga, and I could not find it in the anime, and I was so bummed. I feel like Yu Yu Hakusho is a very great example that the manga is better than the anime. The anime was good, definitely not saying it was bad, but I loved certain scenes that were in the first volume, and I definitely highly recommend checking it out. I feel like it's really hard to get your hands on that one right now. I feel like that's one of the ones that's out of stock right now. But man, if you can read it, it's really, really good. It's very different, I feel, than what I usually read. And that's probably why it exceeded my expectations, because I didn't really have anything coming in. I was a little bit leery since it seems like he dies and he's like a ghost, but he's not really a ghost per se. I don't know. It was a very interesting and unique premise, and I was totally sold on it. For number 2, I don't even know how I came about this manga. I'm pretty sure it was through my friend Mariah Jane had recommended it, and then I saw my library hat and I was like, well, let's pick it up. And that is Beauty Pop. Wow. Like I said, I honestly don't remember what I expected going into this, but it literally is America's Next Top Model meets shoujo manga. It's just except without all the drama that America's Next Top Model has. So if you like things about I guess I was gonna say beauty, but hair salon stuff, cutting hair and all of that, this is really good. And I don't know if it's in this first volume, but I love how Kiri talks about the sort of like what hairstyle goes good with our face structure. That was really insightful. It's very low key, but I still felt that it was just helpful in general. And Kiri is a hoot. I feel like she's such a, I almost said lazy. She's not lazy, but she's such a chill and like easygoing shoujo heroine. Like it was very different. It was very different. I really like her and I liked all the characters. I think in this one though, what is his name? Narumi, I think is his name. Yes, his name is Narumi. I had to double check just to make sure. I did not like him in this first volume at all. He is definitely very mean. He was not my favorite character as the manga progresses, but I did like him and I did like the Scissors Project group, especially the one younger dude. I can't think of his name off the top of my head either, but it is a very fun manga. I was so sad to find out that this is only digital only now. The reason I want to choose this one is because I say like that's digital only is because when I checked out for my library, like it probably was at least a year that I hunted for a good deal to get this series in paperback. I just could not stop thinking about it. I have not gone back to actually reread it since then, but I remember when I found a deal for the whole series and I'm just so thankful that I grabbed it because it is just so special. It's a really fun one and I loved America's Next Top Model growing up and I was so excited to see like that in manga, but like so without the drama. For number 3, I'm really excited about featuring this one as well, and that is That Wolfboy Is Mine. So, a fun story about this. I remember seeing when it first came out in Kodansha advertising it, and I don't know why, but I was leery to get it. I don't really know why, to be honest. I just was sort of like, I don't know if I would enjoy this. And I was looking on Mercari one evening and I found it. And I don't know if my husband saw me looking at it, but he's like, I really think you should get that manga because I think you'll like it. And I was shocked. Like, this is the only time that I feel like my husband has been like, yeah, you definitely need to get that because you would like that. Like, he has not done that with any other manga series. And so I was shocked. And so I went ahead and got it. And I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed the first volume. Like, I did a video review all about volume 1, and this led to this manga being one of my favorite manga. I really enjoy her characters, her work, her art. I have all of her books currently, and I'm always like trying to keep up with them because I just really enjoy how she writes her characters. Like, they're just very sweet, and so I ended up getting the rest of this series. I honestly did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. It's very sweet, very wholesome, though the ending, not of volume 1, but of the final volume 4, was sort of like a cliffhanger, but not really. But you get a bonus chapter that makes it feel like a cliffhanger, and I did talk more about that in a full manga series review of That Wolfboy Is Mine. But it is very good, and I just look at this manga, and I always think about that conversation I had with my husband, and how he recommended this manga to me, because he's not a huge manga fan, so I feel like when he's like, you probably like this, you need to go get it, then I'm like, we need to go get it. For number 4, oh man, I'm excited about all of these. For number 4, I'm going to say Strobe Edge. I was sort of undecided at first, but honestly, if any manga deserves to be on this list, it would be Strobe Edge, because I literally picked up Strobe Edge from my library with the idea, I'm probably going to like this, but I'm probably not going to love it enough where I want to collect it. Wrong. I was so wrong. I had recommendations of this manga, I think, from Margaret Reads Manga, Jenna at the Artist Librarian, she's on Instagram, and then also Tweak from Beneath the Tangles. Like, all 3 of them were like, you should give it a try. I think you'll like it. And yes, they were right. Like, I liked volume 1. I thought it was good. I was like, okay, I'm interested in continuing this. And then I got to volume 2 and I was just sucked into this story. Like, it is so good, especially volume 6. Volume 6 of the whole series is my favorite. I love that volume, and I do have a video review on that as well, and I talk about specifically how volume 6 impacted me, especially at that time that I read this series. I'm bummed that this series is so hard to find. I have seen volume 6, which is out of print. I've seen it on Mercari more than once, but like every time I see it, everybody's charging $100 or more. It's so hard because I'm like, that's the one volume in this series I would absolutely love to have. But I'm happy to have volume 1 at least, because this is a very great shoujo manga, and it got me into, what is her name, Io Saka's work. I want to go read Love Me, Love Me Not, and what's the other one? Oh, Haru Ride, I think is the other one. That's her second series. because she just writes phenomenal characters and her art is absolutely gorgeous. She's just a really amazing mangaka. And this manga, for sure, like I said, probably should have been #1 just because it's the first one that came. Well, I don't think it was the first one, but when I thought on it, like, this is a manga I literally did not expect to love and just blew my expectations out of the water. But #5, last but definitely not least, Rosie in the Labyrinth. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love Rosie, and a huge shout out to Maeve at Maeve Ever Reading. She recommended this, I think she recommended it to me earlier this year, and I was a little nervous, but I really trust Maeve's recommendations. She's recommended Fairy Tale Battle Royale, which is a like fairy tale horror mashup kind of thing. Very, very good. I need to finish this one. She's also recommended High School Debut and Rosie in the Labyrinth, and she's recommended other manga titles as well, but these are the 3 that I have read from her. Oh, and One Week Friends. Can't forget One Week Friends. That was, whoo, that was really, really good. But yeah, talking about Rosie, this just exceeded my expectations, like hands down. I actually picked this up for a like manga shopping that I did with Beneath the Tangles. It was a collaboration, and I was looking for, I think it was just fantasy. No, it was mystery. I was looking for fantasy with mystery vibes, I believe is what it was. And I got Rosie, and I am just so thankful to have read this series. It does have a little bit of creepy vibes to it, but they're not overwhelming. Like, this really is a cute horror read, or maybe not horror, cute paranormal kind of read is maybe the more accurate term. I never would expected that cute could mash up with like slightly horror vibes, paranormal vibes, but Rosie makes it work. And she, I mean, how could she not? Just look how precious she is. And our main guy here, well, he's not our main guy, but he's one of our guys. Then we have these 2 down here. I love all of them. I am so excited for volume 3. I do have volume 2, but I told myself I would not finish this series until I had volume 3. Though, confession, I did skim read volume 2 a little bit. You know, and it's funny when I do that, I'm like, I'm just gonna skim it to see if I want to keep reading. But then I end up reading almost the whole thing. I'm like, Laura, why don't you just sit down, start at page 1, and just start reading? Like, I've done this so many times. It's like not even funny probably at this point, to be honest. I'm like, just sit down and read it. But yes, I love Rosie in the Labyrinth. I do have a video review of this up on Beneath the Tangles if you'd like to check it out. It is just such a fun and great story. I love the messages. Love Rosie. Where's Jack? I gotta show you a picture of Jack because Jack is just absolutely amazing. I love Jack. Jack is probably like low-key one of my favorite characters. And let me just show you this awesome pose of Jack so you can understand just how amazing Jack is. Right here. Boom! Look at Jack. He's right here. Man, Jack is so cool. He is a hoot. Like, just the characters that are in this are just, they're so amazing. Who is this published by? 7 Seas. Thank you, 7 Seas. Thank you, Maeve. And I'm going to do an honorable mention because yesterday, Kaiju #8 released, and oh my goodness, I did not expect to love this manga as much as I did. So incredibly good. Definitely exceeded my expectations. I just was intrigued by the premise of having a guy that rather than killing and defeating kaiju, he's actually cleaning the mess up of the kaiju, and or like the defeated kaiju, I should say. And I was very intrigued by that because I've never seen that premise like anywhere involving kaiju. And I do have a kaiju video, like Top 5 Wednesday, if you'd like to check it out. It was so much fun. It was a really great video. But yes, Kaiju #8, man, but you know, when I'm filming this video, I don't have my physical pre-order paperback in my hands, but it is so good, and I definitely recommend checking that one as well. I really recommend checking out all of these manga titles. They all, like I said, exceed my expectations, and I just really loved it. And I just feel like I miscounted today, guys. I sure did. I sure did. Apparently, I cannot do math because this is 5, and I know I did Yu Yu Hakusho at the beginning, and then I did my honorable mention. So we're just gonna roll with it, friends. We're just gonna roll with it. But thanks so much for watching. What is a manga title that exceeded your expectations? I would love to hear about it. Or if there's just a recent manga title that you read that you're like, man, I absolutely love this. Tell me all about it, friends. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!